But the big story of the day is one that affects each and every one of us. Petrol and diesel prices today touched record levels across India after rates were hiked by 25 paise and 30 paise a litre respectively. The price of petrol was hiked to 101 rupees 89 paise a litre in Delhi and 107 rupees 95 paise per litre in Mumbai. That's not all. CNG and PNG prices are also rising sharply. There's been a 62% hike in natural gas prices, and skyrocketing fuel prices are hitting the common man hard.
Yet to get back to pre-COVID business, 40-year-old Manoj says the latest fuel hike has made running a cab impossible.
जो हम कमाते 700 रुपये या 1000 रुपये वो रह जाएंगे, 700 रुपये रह जाएंगे, 700 वाले 500 रह जाएंगे। मेरे 3 बच्चे हैं, एक बच्चा मेरा नीट में है, एक 12वीं में, एक 10th में, और जो उनका खर्चा है ना, एक प्राइवेट को छोड़ के अगर हम सरकारी में भी जा रहे हैं ना, तब भी हमें इतना खर्चा देना पड़ रहा है कि जो हम इस टैक्सी से नहीं कमा पा रहे।
This is the first meal and first break that Anil has had today.
आप मेरे से क्या 100 ड्राइवर से पूछो क्या हाल हो रहा है, काम नहीं है। आप 20 घंटे गाड़ी चलाओ, 1000 रुपये प्रॉफिट होता है, जिसमें 600 रुपये की तो गैस लग जाती है। अब 2 रुपये बढ़ाया, अब लग रहा 24 घंटे दिन रात चलानी पड़ेगी।
It's worse for those who drive rented vehicles.
8 घंटे की डिप्टी में सर क्या निकलेगा हमें बताइए। ये सरकार हमारी क्या करेंगे, पता नहीं क्या होगा नहीं होगा।
Government increases domestic natural gas prices by 62% on Friday. As a result, CNG prices went up from 45 rupees 20 paisa to 47 rupees 48 paisa in Delhi and 50 rupees 90 paisa to 53 rupees 45 paisa in Noida, Greater Noida and Ghaziabad. PNG prices went up from 30 rupees 91 paisa to 33 rupees 1 paisa in Delhi, 29 rupees 10 paisa to 31 rupees 20 paisa in Gurugram, and 30 rupees 86 paisa to 32 rupees 86 paisa in Noida, Greater Noida and Ghaziabad. Petrol and diesel prices were hiked for the third straight day. In Delhi, petrol costs 102 rupees 14 paisa and diesel costs 90 rupees 47 paisa. Delivery boy 23-year-old Raja Mandal has used his 5 years of saving to buy an e-bike.
धीरे धीरे सोचे, अभी जैसे लॉकडाउन हुआ था ना, उस समय सोचे बाइक लेने का। फिर बाइक में तो आए दिन तो पेट्रोल महंगा हो ही जा रहा है, तो इससे अच्छा तो या तो साइकिल चले या तो बैटरी वाला चले। बाइक सर बाइक है, तो बाइक तो तेज ही चलता है और बाइक का ऑर्डर भी थोड़ा अलग ही मिलता है।
While on one hand the economy is yet to recover from the losses of corona-induced lockdowns, on the other hand, constant increasing fuel prices are burdening the finances of a common man. The question is, what is the government doing to provide respite to this common man, the same common man who voted this government into power? With camera person Sanjay Kaushik, I'm Akshay Dongre for NDTV.
But what are we paying for? Take a look at these graphics on your screen. Currently, more than half the money paid by the consumer to purchase fuel goes towards some tax or the other. So you have international oil prices are soaring to near 3-year highs as the global output disruptions have forced energy companies to draw more crude oil out of their stockpiles. Yes, India imports more than 80% of its oil supplies, and the price of crude oil in the international market does have a significant impact on domestic fuel prices. However, high taxes, as you can see there on your screens, are also seen as a major reason for the rise in fuel prices. In fact, right now, as you can see, when international fuel prices have gone down, the price of fuel, petrol and diesel, has actually gone up. We're paying 147% tax on petrol and 113% tax on diesel. So for more on this, joining us now is the former Finance Minister Yashwant Sinha, formerly with the BJP, now with the TMC. See, Mr. Sinha, thank you for your time. How have we gotten to this situation? We have skyrocketing fuel prices that are hitting the common man hard, but I'm trying to understand how we've reached a situation where you're paying 147% tax on petrol and 113% tax on diesel. So we're paying more taxes than what we're paying for the actual cost of the product we want to buy.
The explanation, Sarah, is very, very simple. and these are all my comments are based on facts. You know, there was in April last year a salutary decline in the international crude oil prices. It came down to something like $19 US dollars a barrel. Now, Government of India did not pass on the benefit of this decline in crude prices to the consumer. What they did instead was to mop up the entire surplus for themselves. And if I were to give you a figure, in 2014-15, when this government, which was this government's first year in office, if they collected something like 75,000 crore rupees annually in taxes, today they are collecting 3.5 lakh crore rupees. So what have they done? They have increased the levy on petroleum products, and because they did not create a space by reducing prices when international crude prices were down, when the international crude prices have gone up or are going up not very substantially, we have experienced this before, but they have no option now. But in order to shore up their revenues, they are using the petroleum sector as the milch cow, and they are robbing the people of this country of their hard-earned money by increasing petroleum product prices. You know, I'd like to remind you that earlier also in this country we experienced a rise in international crude prices. And what was the formula which was adopted then by Atal Bihari Vajpayee's government, by the UPA government? The burden was divided threefold. The government took part of the burden, the petroleum companies took part of the burden, and a part of the burden was put on the consumer. This government has put the entire burden on the consumer.
Well, this question has been put across to the government. Of course, they have various justifications for this. Prime Minister Modi blamed previous governments for not reducing India's dependence on energy exports. We have the Finance Minister, Nirmala Sitharaman, says this is a dharam sankat. We have Dharmendra Pradhan. He says international markets are behind the fuel price hike. And he's actually defended the high fuel prices, citing the government spending on welfare schemes and the vaccination drive. What would you say in response to that?
No, I'll say these are all absolutely ridiculous arguments to give. And you did not mention one thing, because I heard the petroleum minister say one day that it is entirely up to the state governments. They should reduce their taxes and reduce petroleum product prices. No, it is the government of India. And the simple fact that we have to remember is what I mentioned to you earlier, that from 75,000 crore rupees a year, the government is now collecting 3.5 lakh crore rupees per year by way of taxes. So this is robbing the people in broad daylight, nothing more than that.
Mr. Sinha, you know, one of the arguments also put forward by this government and the petroleum minister is that they've said that the links to oil bonds issued during the UPA era is the cause, is behind these high prices. But that is a disingenuous argument, because it's not just the UPA, it's also the Atal Bihari Vajpayee-led government that issued these bonds. And according to your budget speech of 2002-2003, when you were finance minister, you said that the government would issue these bonds. So what would you say in response to this argument, sir?
This argument is again very ingenuous. This argument holds no water, because it is not because of that. And I've seen media reports where people have examined facts and figures to prove that this allegation is absolutely wrong. It is not the reason for increase in fuel prices. Very simple reason is government is making money. They are simply making money out of fuel prices by imposing all kinds of taxes. That's what they're doing. And I mentioned to you that earlier the burden was divided, or the benefit also was divided three ways. Now it is only one way. It's the government's way, and that the consumer can take the high way.
But Mr. Sinha, you've been in the hot seat as finance minister. Yes, petrol and diesel taxes bring in huge revenues both to the centre and to the state governments. But in the end, eventually, every 5 years we have an election, and governments know that this is where people are, feel the pinch the hardest. So surely, what could be the logical argument then for the government, as you point out, when international prices go down, not passing that on to the Aam Aadmi?
So this is what I'm saying, that they have made two mistakes. One is that they did not pass on the benefit of declining international crude oil prices to the consumer. They misappropriated all the profits themselves, and now they are in a bind. The second is the earlier formula, which all governments have followed, to divide the burden or the benefit three ways. This government has not done that either. If they had done that, then they would be taking part of the burden now. So increasing fuel prices like this every day and touching a new record is nothing less, and I'm saying it with the full sense of responsibility, nothing less than daylight robbery.
All right, former Finance Minister Mr. Yashwant Sinha, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your time this evening on Left, Right and Centre. So why are fuel prices, petrol prices not coming down, and how long will Indians have to pay more in tax than pay for the actual product we want to buy? Joining us now is Gaurav Vallabh, spokesperson of the Congress, PKD Nambiar, political analyst who supports the BJP, and we have R.S. Pandey, former Petroleum Secretary, joining us now. PKD Nambiar, to you first. This daily fuel price hike is a daylight robbery. The government is robbing its citizens, has said a former finance minister, a former BJP finance minister.
Sarah, there is no doubt that the way this fuel price hike is happening is really, I won't call it like a robbery or anything, because nobody is taking the money and going somewhere. But then it is really, really bad that every day you are going to a fuel station, you get to have an idea there is a new figure you have to pay every day. It's not at all acceptable. But who is responsible for it? The responsibility should not be lying only to the central government. In the about a month ago, the finance minister herself has said that the time has come for us to get back to the GST even for the fuel. But no state governments, including none of the Congress government or the opposition governments, were ready to go for it. To an extent, the Kerala finance minister said that we are in touch with all the other opposition ruled state governments, because we cannot accept GST for fuel. So I think there are double standards by the opposition parties. What we need is that today, other than a fuel economy, can we find some other method of generating revenue? Because one thing is very clear, that we want all the welfare measure. The government needs funds. Unless and until they don't have enough revenue, they will not be able to spend on welfare measures. So whether you want a vaccine, but the vaccine prices will come from the fuel or somewhere else, I think the time for the economists have to start coming up with an alternative revenue generation method. And this is absolutely killing. Every day you can't have a new figure when you go to a petrol station. But politicizing this particular stuff will be killing, because Congress is one of the primary reasons for the whole economic change which has taken place in this country. One thing I can tell you, today at least the money coming in is being spent on the people. There is zero corruption charges, unlike the UPA 1 and 2.
Let me first go point by point, the points you made. Let's give Gaurav a chance to respond. Gaurav, first and foremost, double standards, says PKD Nambiar, talking about the fact he claims that states are not willing to keep fuels outside the ambit of the tax regime for now. Your response?
Sarah, just take an example of diesel. Diesel, you know what central government is collecting per litre in the form of excise? It is 31 rupees 80 paisa. And what state governments are collecting, Sarah, you will be surprised. It is, and I'm talking about on an average, all states of the country. It is 12.99, means approximately 13 rupees per litre. State governments are collecting on 1 litre diesel 13 rupees. Government of India collects 32 rupees. Now where is the comparison? And the 32 rupees per litre is today's excise duty which Government of India collects. In 2014 it was 3 rupees and some paisa. There is a 900% jump in the excise duty on diesel. Coming to the petrol, per litre in petrol on diesel, petrol was 9 rupees some paisa in 2014. Today it is 33 rupees per litre, which Government of India collects. So where is the comparison, my dear friend? In last 7 years, 22 lakh crore rupees was collected in the form of taxes on fuel. 22 lakh crore. And if I compare this with the UPA 1 and 2 7 years, it was nearly 4 lakh crore. So you can't hide behind these arguments. Then he was telling, can someone suggest an alternate? Mr. Nambiar, I am suggesting an alternate. And please listen it carefully. Your dear friend Adani earns 1,000 crore rupees per day. That is his earning every day. Why can't you tax him 40% or 50%? You are giving tax concessions to your corporate friends. And why you are taking the money from the common people of the country? Who uses diesel? Diesel is used by the farmers of our country. Who uses petrol? Petrol is used by the salaried class people of our country. On the one hand, the jobs are coming down, the salaries are coming down. On the other side, the middle income group society of our country has to incur more expenses in the form of higher price of petrol and higher price of diesel.
And that's not all. Even the CNG, PNG prices are going up. These were supposed to be alternative fuels, cleaner fuels. But Mr. Pandey, I'm going to come back to you, Mr. Nambiar. Mr. Pandey, could you come in here on this argument? The fact is, PKD Nambiar calls it a double standard. One double standard is that even though international crude oil futures prices dropped to less than $20 a barrel in April, this was due to a drop in demand due to the global COVID-19 lockdown. The domestic retail price of petrol and diesel continued to stay high. Is that not a double standard?
Well, today the international prices are around $78 per litre. There was a time in 2008, I happened to be Petroleum Secretary in the Government of India at that time. Per barrel prices were $147 per litre. Even in 11-12, it was much above $100 per litre. Now, why is it that the prices at retail level are so high? Prices had never gone to this level in the past, although the crude prices were about twice what it is today in international market. The reason is excise duty and VAT. Now the proportion of excise duty is much higher. 5 years, 6 years back, it used to be 9 rupees per litre. Today it is 32 rupees per litre. Well, there has been increase in VAT also, but I think the burden is too high, and the burden is on the middle class people, on the poor people. 99% of petrol in India is used on transportation, and 70% of that is used by two-wheelers. Now, who are these two-wheelers? The poor people, the middle class people. And then its effect on inflation also is going to be very high. Inflation, retail inflation is around 6% in the country. It's going to even shoot up further. Now, CNG, PNG prices also have been raised. It will affect the three-wheeler prices also. The cars also which run on these fuels, the consumption will go up in terms of money. So, Government of India will have to reduce the excise duty. No country around India has this level of prices prevailing.
And many would argue that these high taxes are a drag on the economy. If taxes are reduced, then you save money and that you could use to other parts of consumption spending and thus boosting economic growth. The PKD Nambiar, I'm sure you want to respond to what the spokesperson of the Congress has said, that tax people on their outcome, overall taxes. We're already paying taxes. Why are we paying more in tax for a product than the cost of the actual product? The taxes cost more than what fuel actually costs.
Sarah, it's very simple. It's high time. It's high time that the petroleum products needs to as the GST. There is no doubt and there is no question. And the very the finance minister of this country has already articulated very clearly. But why the opposition parties, a large number of them, whether it is a Congress, where the Yashwant Sinha was just talking few minutes ago, why Sitaram Yechury was tweeting, but why his government in Kerala is not talking, why the Telangana government wanted to have the price to come down, but he is not ready to reduce. So there is a challenge. One thing you need to understand, in 2018, if I wanted to remind Gauravji, there was an excise duty cut. But today we are sitting in a different situation, wherein every state government to the central governments are looking for a large number of funds in order to curtail the overall deficit, which is because of the COVID, which happened 1.5 years. There are large number of schemes which are basically meant for the former petroleum secretary was talking about the middle class and as well as the lower middle class and the poor, how they are getting the vaccine free, how they are getting the rations free, how they are getting the health facilities free. It's all coming from somewhere, sir. You are a secretary yourself. You know, I don't have to tell you how the economics works, but it is important for a country like us. Why the 50 years of ruling 60 years of ruling this country, Sarah,
Mr. Nambiar, I'm so sorry. Gaurav Vallabh will then point out, and why is the PM's picture on these vaccine certificates if the public is paying for it, if we're paying for it? You are taxing us and then telling us that money is being returned to us. But I want to focus on Mr. Pandey. I think it's also another, it's a whole other debate. States are worried about their own curtailed independent power to raise tax revenue because of this whole GST system. But Mr. Pandey, what would you say to that GST argument? I just heard the petroleum minister also recently said that states are not allowing this.
GST also look at the state government of Tamil Nadu. They have reduced their taxes to less than half of what it was in the month of August. The result is that the prices of these products have come down by more than 3 rupees per litre. So state governments also have to come in. But the central government share is much more than the state government, and therefore central government has much more responsibility to compensate. Now, where is the comparison? If central government is collecting 32 rupees and a state government is collecting 15 rupees, then who should reduce more? In fact, everyone should reduce more, the state and the center. But the responsibility of the central government is much more. Today, you know, 3,66,000 crore is going to be collected by the government of India in this financial year only from petrol and diesel. Right. Well, I think you could live with slightly less,
sir, there is a
and
road.
then there are expenditure. It's all a question of how fiscally you manage your country.
Thank you so much. This is the issue that affects each and every one of us. That's why we're focusing on this tonight on Left, Right and Centre. Will prices go down? Maybe not. I'm not sure we can bet on that. Can we at least hope that they won't go up further? That's a thought at this hour. Thank you all for joining us on Left, Right and Centre.